Here with Coach Bryan Brunk of Messiah College. Coach, first of all, congratulations on having a national champion this year. Also finishing third at Division III Nationals and being named the Coach of the Year.
Thank you very much. It was definitely a fun season, fun end of the year. So a lot of end of the year recognitions, and I just and we always try to look to all those people around us that that deserve the recognition just as much as the people that get their names on plaques or whatever. But a great team effort all the way through the end of the year that culminated in some individual recognitions with both the coaching award and an individual national champ and all that.
Well, let's back up a little bit. Going into this year, I'm sure you knew you had a good team. Did you know that it was going to be as strong as it was?
I'm an optimist, so I certainly thought that we could contend. But if I'm being 100% honest, when the initial preseason national rankings came out and Messiah was ranked 5th, which was the highest we'd ever been ranked at any point in time in the history of the program, I kind of thought, oh, that's nice. Might be a little bit high. So I even being 100% honest, I certainly thought we could be very good, but I probably wouldn't have predicted the type of finish to the year that we had at the beginning of the year. Now, certainly by the middle of the year and by the end of the year, I thought we could be right there. I thought we had a chance to contend for the title, but certainly at the beginning of the year, we just made huge jumps these last couple of years. Each year, from 4 years ago to 3 to 2, and 2 to this year, I made pretty large jumps in the standings and the rankings and all that kind of stuff. So sometimes it seems a little bit surreal. It gets ahead of you, and you think, how'd this happen all of a sudden? So.
Well, let's talk about a couple guys on the team. Your 125-pounder made it to the finals this year.
Yeah.
Had a great season. Talk about him a little bit.
Yeah, Lucas Malmberg. We met Lucas when he was a 90-pound sophomore in high school in New York State, and he came to my overflow camp, and he reported back to me that overflow camp experience was pretty much a life-changing experience for him, where he truly gave his heart and life to Jesus Christ and started to really understand what it meant to follow Jesus with his whole life, as well as with his wrestling. And so fast forward a few years, and we tried to recruit him out of high school. He was a 2-time New York State champ, and he thought he wanted to take a year and train with the Finger Lakes Wrestling Club and to attend community college up near where he lives in New York. And he did that, and then we kind of re-recruited him the next year, and he decided to come to Messiah for the chance to be a part of this environment here at Messiah College. Man, he just hit the ground running. Had a great season. He's a hard worker. Wants to win. Believes he can win. Obviously, I think we started planning for next year in the middle of his finals match, because the kid from Augsburg, Mike Foomfinger, came out with a really good game plan and surprised me with some of the technique he was doing. And in the middle of the match, I was thinking to myself, I wasn't prepared. I didn't prepare Lucas well enough for that finals match to watch out for a couple different techniques and the counters to those techniques, and maybe a little bit better strategy for us. So we started kind of making mental notes in the middle of the finals. And one of the best moments of the entire NCAA championships for us was when Lucas lost, and he decided that he was going to. Sometimes people do these kind of public displays of faith, and we're a faith-based institution, so that happens some with Messiah, and I have mixed levels of comfort with that. I certainly don't tell guys what they can and cannot do, but I believe that we want to point people to Jesus. Well, Lucas decided to do some of that in losing, and so he came over, shook Foomfinger's hand, and then he pointed up to the sky as if to give thanks to God, and then he walked over and knelt down on the edge of the mat and said just a prayer of thanksgiving that he had been given the opportunity, that God had gifted him with his physical gifts, and that he just could wrestle as a representative of Jesus Christ. And that was moving. It was humble, and it was. I think it sometimes maybe even goes further to do something like that in loss than it does in victory. So anyway, that was a really neat moment as well. But yeah, he's a great kid. Great year.
So 149, you had a national champion.
141.
141.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 141.
Yeah.
But we'll come back to that. Let's
Sure.
jump up to 184, where you had Josh Thompson take third for the second year in a row.
Yeah, Josh is a local guy. He comes to us right from the neighboring high school here in Mechanicsburg, and he just is grown leaps and bounds as a person here at Messiah, and as a wrestler as well. He's his work ethic is excellent. He truly wants to be the best, and he had a great year. He's gone 2 years now with 40+ wins. He's been a freshman and a sophomore All-American, and he's helped to really lead the team in the wrestling room and in the weight room. He's a great example in the wrestling room and the weight room. One of the things I really like about Josh is that you find him after practice a lot of times pulling in one of the freshmen or one of the guys that he worked with in practice, and just going over extra technique with them. He's just a real student of the sport, and he really has a passion for understanding wrestling, for applying it, and for teaching it to others. So been a fun year to watch him continue to grow, not just in his wrestling experience, but also to grow as a leader and as a student of the sport.
And then you're national champ at 141.
Yeah, we also had an All-American at 174, Enrico Plummer, who's another Pennsylvania guy, who was really cool to see Rico, because Rico went to nationals last year and came up short, just fell flat, went 0-2. And then he was a senior this year, captain, and will be one of our assistant coaches. He's actually accepted a position as a graduate assistant here at Messiah for next year. But for Rico to be able to have the end of the year accomplishment that he did and finish 5th in the country was pretty special too. So that, I didn't want to skip over Rico, but yeah, then Caleb, Caleb was, I hate this terminology, but Caleb was a man on a mission this year, because everybody's kind of a man on a mission, right? Nobody sets out not to win the national title, but Caleb certainly personified that cliche of being a man on a mission this year. In part because last year he dislocated his elbow at the end of the season, 3 weeks outside of the qualifiers, and was having a great year that year. Beat multiple guys who were All-Americans. So he did not like the taste in his mouth of watching nationals last year from the stands. And so he went on an international wrestling experience with the NWCA Division III All-Star clinic. I forget what they call it exactly, but it's an international exchange trip that the Division III puts together every year. And he really worked hard at getting some freestyle experience, which I think really helped his top wrestling. His forward pressure and some of his control on top was, you could see the direct correlation between the freestyle practice from the top position and what translated to very dominant top wrestler this year. And then he just had an incredible season where he went 40 something and won. His only loss was to a Division I guy in the finals of the Franklin Marshall Open. Went undefeated in Division III, and he just had an incredible season. And you could see that through the national tournament, just the confidence, the desire. He wrestles an exciting style where 1 takedown, 2 takedowns, 3 takedowns, that's not enough. He's going to keep coming. So you could see that throughout the tournament, and it just I don't think he looked nervous at all until maybe the last minute of the finals, and he was ahead. At the time, he was ahead 5-1, and he got taken down, so it was 5-3. Immediately got out, so it was 6-3. But then you could see he got a little nervous, but it wasn't until the last maybe minute of the national championship match, and then we've talked about that, and he said in his mind, this is really happening. I'm really going to win a national title. So it was pretty exciting. And now his challenge is to repeat, because he's back with us next year. So
Congratulations also on winning Coach of the Year. What's that mean to you?
It means a lot to the program. I'm not going to say it doesn't mean a lot to me. I definitely don't want to downgrade the accomplishment. At the same point in time, it's really a testament to the work that the young men in the program and my assistant coaches have done. Because we're all working really hard, and for these guys to buy in and sacrifice and work and believe in me and the system that we're putting out there, the plan that we're putting out there. That's what it all comes down to. And so I'm honored by it, and at the same point in time, I'm very humbled by it as well, because I think a lot of other people had as much, if not more, to do with it than I did. So that's kind of how I feel about it.
Well, I guess there's only one place to go next year. What are your goals?
We're going to Hershey next year, because Hershey's hosting the Division III National Championships. And yeah, I mean, like, the last 3 years we've had so many firsts for this program. First team trophy. We brought home a team trophy this year. We've had a lot of firsts in different events that we go to. This was the first time that we ever had 4 All-Americans. It was actually the first time we ever had 5 guys get to the national championships. It was my first national champion. It was the program's third. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of firsts, but there's very few left to do. Very few firsts left to go. And so, I mean, our goal is to win a national title as a team. I think we have our 3 top returners back. We have a great group of freshmen coming in. And then and a couple transfers coming in as well. And then we have a great group of guys who've been waiting their turn as well. A bunch of this year's freshmen, sophomores, and juniors who were second string or third string this year, but are working and achieving and believe that they can, when it's their turn to step in the lineup, that they can produce the same type of results. So I believe with a team effort that we could send 10 guys to nationals. And try to win a team title next year. That's what we're going to focus on all spring and summer and all fall and through the season. So,
well, Penn State's has been bringing the Division I title back to PA, so we're all going to be rooting for Messiah to bring the Division III title back to PA.
That sounds really good to me. Yep.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.